Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to our LinkedIn Live. And I see that people are still joining. So right now we'll, just wait for a couple more minutes for everybody to sort of join in. I was going through the attendees list, and it was very interesting because I saw people joining from all across the globe. So maybe we could do this fun exercise and let everyone know where we're joining us. Joining the LinkedIn Live from. So I'm from Bangalore, India. Dilnoza, what about yourself?
I'm right now in Wyoming, which is the state in the United States, in Laramie.
Nice, lovely. Let us know where you guys are joining us from in the comment section, and I'll just very briefly, talk to everyone about where this initiative came about. So about a year and a half back, we started having these LinkedIn lives with advancement experts on subjects that matter to our colleagues in advancement. So over the past year and a half, we've covered topics such as engaging young alumni, best practices around homecoming, leveraging chat gpt in advancement, and so on and so forth. Today, however, we'll be talking about building a thriving international alumni community. What goes into it, what are some of the success stories, and why is it important in the first place, right? And joining me is a very special guest, Dilnoza Khasilova, who is an educator, researcher, and linguist. And among other things, she works at the Global Engagement Office at University of Wyoming. She also runs the university's World Language and Culture program. And I may not do complete justice to her impressive experience, so I'll just invite Dilnoza to talk very briefly about herself and her role over the past years.
Thank you so much, Ankit. It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm looking forward to sharing some good experience that I had in this role while I was working as a global engagement alumni coordinator, because it was for 2 years, and we just finished that project. And I really hope that this global engagement alumni relations will grow within our alumni association. So I'm originally from Uzbekistan, but I lived and grew up in Uzbekistan. Then I studied in different countries, including European countries, Russia, and here in the United States. I got my PhD. I was lucky to be in the state because of the education and professors and people I came across in this institution. I had a passion and love, and that's how this project came up. When I graduated, I expressed my willingness to work on the project that will connect our global alumni, because our global alumni are in different countries and different places right now. But how can we stay in touch? Because I know how much our alumni are interested, no matter if they're in India or like Central Asia or like England, they want to be connected. And it was this, with respect to this, I proposed to create a WYOGLOBAL Alumni Initiative, where we started working on different projects, and we'll talk more about it.
Right, right. Yeah, impressive. Also, now I understand, impressive sort of exposure over the years for you. So, makes complete sense why you, work towards engaging global alumni. Now, before we sort of dive into the topic about building a thriving international alumni community, you mentioned there, in your introduction about the Bio Global Engagement Initiative, and I've also read about that on the website, right? It seemed really impressive. If you could just talk to the audience about the initiative, what went, in building it, and how did it come about, and things like that.
Absolutely. I think it would be also helpful for maybe recent graduates who were graduating during COVID. An idea is that we should be confident and maybe expressing our thoughts, just sharing, what we can do in our institution to make the relationship better, right? So basically, this initiative was part of my postdoctoral fellowship. And with respect to that, we had to define what is WYO Global. When we say WYO, we're talking about Wyoming, right? And when we talked about it, we didn't want only just be inclusive with students. We just said, let's define it. What is WYO Global Alumni? So WYO Global Alumni consists of international students, local students who went abroad, study abroad students, right? They're alumni too. They graduate. Faculty who do Fulbright, different U.S. Department program exchanges, or international faculty who are coming to exchange ideas, staff members are going to exchange. So basically, including all those members that I mentioned to you, anybody who has or had relationship with different part of the world, doing research, want to work on different capacities, are considered alumni, via global alumni.
Right. Sounds like an impressive program, and like a very great way to take the university to the global audience, as well as engaging those who have sort of graduated from the university but are living abroad. Now, I like the topic of the conversation is how to engage international alumni, right, and how to build a thriving alumni community abroad. But before that, I would want to take a step back and ask you, why is it so important? Why is engaging your international alumni so important in today's times?
Yes, because because of your alumni, you can recruit more students because your alumni are ambassadors, those champions who can talk about the university experience, real, true experience. When we
Right.
see applications coming or interest coming from different students, they say, "Well, I just want to go because it's a unique place." You cannot describe by saying just unique, right? You need
Mhm.
to have a connection, or let's say, for example, well, I have heard from the NASA about the PhD programs. I'm so interested. I'm really curious about my future and how University of Wyoming is given so much opportunities. So it's important to engage because you can build partnerships. Who
Right.
knows better your institution than your alumni, right? And
Right.
partnerships is not one time research or one time exchange. Partnership is a lifelong established relationships, and your alumni can do that. They can connect their institutions, their companies they're working for. Then they can create the space for your students who want to do internship. Also, it gives an opportunity for graduation rate, giving them a job. Recruiting, helping recruiters, right? Talking about the countries, but also being able to meet your representatives from your institutions in your home country or the places you're working right now. Like in one example I can give you, I have held a lot of sessions at the US Embassy in Uzbekistan, for example. It was interesting for me to talk about the institution, but also being able to connect Embassy Education USA representatives and talk about the program, initiatives, academic preparation. And I think this is how you build relationship, and it's so important to always have those couple of champions who can help you build volunteerism. Also, giving back, the idea of giving back from
Right.
international folks, or I would just call global alumni, is that anything we're doing, like even our time, 1 hour time, is a giving back.
Right.
If you have a chance, do fundraising, it's another way to giving back.
Makes sense. And I just want to ask one, quick question here, because when you're engaging, the international community of the college, the alumni, because these people are coming from very different backgrounds, different countries, different cultural sensibilities, how do you overcome those cultural barriers when trying to engage the international alumni community, right? Because I remember I was talking to somebody they were working at Princeton as a global engagement manager, and they said that when they talk to folks in who are alumni in the third world countries, for them giving back is very different. Like their priorities are different, right? So yeah, how do you sort of try to overcome these cultural differences and barriers when you're trying to engage your international alumni?
That's a great question, and I think it will not be one answer, right? But I would love to provide my example how it worked in our context. First of all, I think that goes relationship with your faculty. When students are entering, they're getting to know their advisors, their faculty members, and they build community with their peers. So my love started, to the university as well from faculty who were supporting me. And when I saw my campus, I said, well, there's something that we could do more about the cultural differences. And at that time I was a student, it started project, establishing, for example, world language and culture program, where I thought, well, it's not only connecting international or study abroad, for example, students together, but also being able to connect to campus community, right? Building community around us, around the university. And when I saw that support, I just was so happy. And I think that gave an opportunity to say, here is my leadership skills. Here is what I can bring to campus, right? Connecting to students, being able to present, doing programming. I think that speaks to itself. And we actually built a program that now became an alumni project, right? After 12 years, it's it's alive. And now our alumni are joining, current students are joining. And I think that's the engagement where you can ask questions and say, well, you have studied. What was at the time when you were a student?
Right.
What are you working now, right? Why are you volunteering in this project? So it's so important. And you're right. And third, developing countries, the concept of giving back just not only considered giving money, right? There is something else that those students or population grew up with, giving back in the meaning that non-monetary, service. So I think that helps a lot to grow who we are, to show what we can do and how we can support our current community, but also involve others who want to join this, project.
Right. Makes sense. Makes sense. Before moving forward, I'd like to take a quick break here, quick pause, and give props to the amazing marketing team at Almabase, who helped it organize this, as well as coming up with an amazing guide on engaging your international alumni. It has case studies and different sort of ways and methods that you could achieve building an international alumni community. So if you're interested in getting your hands on it, in the comment section you could just write ebook, and our folks at Almabase will reach out to you or will send you that ebook, right? So moving forward, another great initiative that I came across while reading about WYO Global was the WYO Global Alumni Ambassadors Initiative, right? I loved how you had sort of, married alumni volunteers or the alumni volunteer program with this initiative, right? If you could just shed a bit of light on this initiative for the audience as well.
Absolutely. Well, I talked about the definitions, right? When we defined, we wanted to know who want to be engaged. We created a survey. So survey could be created using different tools, right? Google or Qualtrics, right? And I'm happy to share very quickly how the survey looks like, and then the page we're talking about, so our audience also has some understanding of what exactly we're talking about, right? So when you look at the survey we created, and we wanted to understand our audience. Would do they want to be participating? When they did graduated, for example, where do they live right now? About the degree they earned while being here at the University of Wyoming, and again, how they connect themselves. We wanted to be very, exclusive and inclusive, and making sure that we are including all of alumni of UW who have any connections at all. And then again, the permission, right? Would they like to be a guest speaker? Would they like to volunteer or just be featured to W communication, or maybe just getting our news, what we're doing here? And also, it's an interesting opportunity to ask those alumni about their bios, their activeness. Would they like to share anything they would like? And again, joining our LinkedIn community where it's live, mostly I would say, connecting to other peers and talk about it. Well, when we talk about our specifically via Global Alumni Ambassador, that was something that we started after reading research books like that was written by, for example, Sandra and different other authors. So we started looking at how alumni ambassadors look like in different continents, for example. And one idea that came up is selecting the champions who are very active in their home countries, at their, for example, here at the institution, or want to have some kind of relationships. So with that, we started, contacting after, getting our surveys, those people, and asking them if they would like to serve and what their role look like, for example, right? Are they going to be an ambassador in their home countries, or are they going to train current students about the jobs, how they could apply for jobs, how they can engage, what kind of job they could do? And as you can see, we didn't cover the whole globe, but at least we have 10 WYO Global ambassadors who are willing to be there for us, connect via Zoom or just, even visiting our campus. For example, we had Norway, former president of Student Association, Jorgen, who actually travels quite a lot to Wyoming, and they remember about their, for example, ski team. And he was very happy to bring more alumni to Wyoming, even connecting students, Norwegian students here in Wyoming to home country and supporting them, and maybe even connecting to places where they could get a scholarship. Or like, for example, Oksana, who was an exchange student, right? But she was able to continue giving support, but also gaining skills, because with Alumni Ambassador Program, it's not only one-sided. It's basically what I can, how I can support as a coordinator, supporting them to write recommendation letters, guiding them. So she got accepted into PhD program. That's exciting too. I think you're also giving them a chance to grow. And we have other, for example, Dr. Noran, who's from Egypt. She also was able to connect with us and give her a couple of presentations during International Education Week and during some other events as well.
Right, right. And also, Dilnoza, if you could, I'm not sure if you are sharing the screen for the homepage of the initiative as well.
Oh,
Would you like to just show us the homepage of the initiative?
absolutely, because I was sharing. It looks like technology is such an interesting, right?
Gets us to
Yes, absolutely. So here, that what I was showing right now, right? As you can see on this page, we
right.
have our global
Yeah.
ambassadors and those people who I was just talking. That you can, there's other ways to build it, right? According to your own, context, your university. But for now, we just wanted to put it out there, our champions who are doing the work, who are ready to reply or be connected or kind of provide some ideas, because having one person to provide ideas is great, but having multiple people from different backgrounds providing their engagement and how they would like to be engaged is different story. So
Right, makes sense, makes sense. Also, talking to the audience once again, let us know if you'd want to, receive the ebook that we prepared on engaging international alumni. You could just comment ebook in the comment section. Now, Bilnoza, moving forward, I would love to know if what are some of the challenges that you faced while doing this, right? Like when you're trying to build an international alumni program, what are some of the initial challenges that you face, and some strategies that you overall employ to overcome those?
that's a great question. I think, first of all, I was getting ready. Once you are building initiative, especially, the challenges as well. And when I was building, I was looking at the research, what it says, because building international alumni or global alumni is a more modern term, and it's new initiatives. And so I was ready a little bit, but I think the big challenge when you are working with, for example, your community or university, is being able to bring awareness. What is the
Right.
goal? Why are you connecting to alumni? Because the first question would be, so we do have alumni association, why, right? So it's being able to have that element and say, how can we connect better our alumni, for example, from different parts of the world? But also the second purpose is that our office, the global engagement office, needed some help when I mentioned about partnerships, recruiting, right? So the second purpose is thinking about how can you work with your colleagues, explaining to them that this brings the benefit to them, right?
Right. Right.
Sometimes it's hard because all of us work in different projects, and we sometimes become protective or territorial, or we don't understand that by for example, engaging other people, working together, we can do better things. And I think sometimes it can be challenging, but also the funding, right? Where do you get the funding to support these projects? How do you grow? How do you engage other alumni? And also, I think the challenge is being a one-person office, right? Working with alumni, you're working with alumni historically who could graduate, for example, let's say 1,000, 950s and up to now, and being able to stay in touch, engage with them through LinkedIn, and I'll show you the LinkedIn page, or highlighting them, right? Because you're doing the job of marketing, you're doing the job of, let's say fundraising activities, and inviting guest speakers being like you, just hosting sessions or doing podcasts, it's a little bit can be challenging. But I think if we grow this network, if we bring awareness of the benefits and also how important it is to build global alumni relations, I think that will give a lot of great things that are US or other European institutions, if they're missing some engagement or support, that would help a lot, I believe.
Right, right. That makes sense. Also, as we're coming to a close, would you like to sort of share some success stories alongside, of course, showing us the LinkedIn page of the initiative?
Absolutely. So before I share, I also wanted to tell you that not only we did build Global Alumni Ambassador, project, but we also tried to engage our guests, like ambassadors who are coming to